Hey, how's it going? Wanted to make a quick video about this RPS Condor. It's a Honda Grom clone, a Chinese clone. And I bought this one used, but you guys can find this for 1,600. Literally brand new, probably like 1,700, 800 shipped to your door. I bought this used because I was able to find it for $1,000. And did have some issues when I got it. It was just hard to start. The carburetor was flooding. So I just took it apart, just drained it, and you got to mess around with the little shutoff valve for the fuel lines, and that's about it. But I think that's the main issue these clones have is fuel issues. They leak a little bit. Like right here, if you see down there, you have your little filter right there, and that's connected to a shutoff valve. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Oh yeah, you guys can. It's right there. That's a valve that turns on and off. Well, those leak, and this one currently is leaking. If like I leave it off for a little bit, it would have like a little drop. But that's a little bit of an issue that almost all of these have. I've seen these on Facebook Marketplace. People complain about fuel leaks, and they're talking about that. But this one right here, I bought it with a Navy carburetor on it and a air to fuel ratio gauge on it. And that helped out a lot, being able to tune the carburetor just a little bit after I took it apart to clean it out after it being flooded. But now, the only thing I can say about this is that it's a alright bike. Like, it's a motorcycle, it runs, but that's all I can say about it because it's not a Honda Grom. I can't just turn on the key and press the electrical start and it'll turn on. Sometimes it has issues turning on. But it's a good thing about these clones that some of these have a kickstart. So I guess you could say it's all right. Like I said, this bike is an all right bike. It's not the best bike to buy, and I wouldn't recommend you buying this bike if you're using it every day to get to point A to point B, like your job, or you just want a reliable motorcycle to get around. I would not recommend this. But if you're mechanically inclined and you can work with tools, I recommend buying one if you're just going to use it to learn. And that's actually what we're doing with this motorcycle right here. I bought this motorcycle for my girlfriend for her to learn. And if she messes it up, it's a Honda Grom clone. It's not a real Grom. And it didn't cost all that much. It was only $1,000. So if she ends up dropping it, you know, maybe turning around, you know, turning too quickly and it just slides under her, it's a small bike. It's not gonna really hurt too much it falling, and it's a cheap bike. It's a clone, so it's not really, you know, it's not gonna hold its value as much, you know. But other than that, this bike does teach the first time rider the basics of riding. So this bike does have 5 years. You could go through all of them. It has a clutch that is all right. It's a little bit grabby. It's not like I would say a Grom, because I've ridden the Grom before, where like you have that sense of bite point and you have that like wherever it bites on and then it engages. This bike, it's really grabby, so you like get into the clutch and it already engages. Like, it doesn't have that sense of bite point. It might just be as well that this bike is also new and the clutch hasn't been worn in, because even though I did buy it off the second owner, this thing only has 72 miles. So it's still fairly new, and it's still not even broken in yet. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around of the bike. I have to put on some gloves on because it is really fucking cold outside. It's like 19 degrees out here in Chicago. But yeah, this is how the bike looks around. To be honest, it's not that bad looking. Like, it looks actually pretty good. But let's get this bike started as well, so you guys can see like what's the procedure on starting this. And come down here, just pull the plunger on the choke. Now that's up. And look, this is what I was talking about, that you can't just electrical start it. Watch. Yep, I don't like it. So that's when you bring that kickstand down, and we'll give it a nice little kick. Oh, nope. There we go, and it died. And it's alive. now we're gonna turn on the fuel so it doesn't die. And there you go, it died. Let's get down here. Turn on that little valve I showed you guys earlier. And then we'll redo it again. There you go. But yeah, that's what I was talking about, this motorcycle. It does have issues starting, and I'm guessing that just being carbureted. But after it starts and you let it warm up, you can turn it off and use the electrical start. But I like to let this warm up maybe for 4 minutes before I drop that little plunger of the choke. But this thing, I was able to get the air to fuel ratio is pretty good. Whenever I'm riding it, they do stay around that 14 mark, 14 to 15. So that's pretty good. I'm not sure how much I trust that gauge, but you know, it is what it is, and it runs. So the motorcycle has been idling for probably 5 minutes. I pulled down the plunger, so this is already at idle. It's idling pretty good. Now everyone's favorite question, can this thing do wheelies? And the answer is yes. Now, do I want to do it and do I know how to do it? The answer is no. But I will show you that it can do a clutch up. I'm still learning on my clutch ups. No, I don't want to go and break my girlfriend's bike that she uses to learn, but I'll show you guys that it can be done.